Well, cheers, Tenika. Thanks so much for being here.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
I'm honestly so excited to catch up with you because you've been going through a lot of big transitions in your life and doing a lot of exciting things. And it's been a while since we actually sat down one-on-one. I've seen you, in social settings, but I'm just excited to catch up one-on-one.
Likewise. I mean, you're one of my faves. So it's nice being here.
Exactly.
Finally getting to catch up.
For sure. Well, maybe we can start. So I always find this super interesting. It's just hearing about people's career paths and the different things that they've done along the way. Maybe you can share a little bit about, starting from university, what you studied, to the different roles you've had and where you are at now.
For sure. So university, I studied communications with a concentration in political PR. Initially, I have a very activist spirit. So I thought, going into political PR would be exciting. And no, it was the opposite. And there was a lot of red tape and stuff over in Ottawa. It just wasn't boring. So
not for everyone.
Yeah, not for everybody. But the communications aspect still excited me a bit at that time. So I finished university, couldn't get a job, interned a bit for free, which I guess I don't even know these new gens, whatever they are. They will never work for free. I'm hearing, my little cousins are like, what is that? Like, what do you mean intern? Like, I'm not getting paid. And I was like, that's how we had to do things back then. So I did a couple internships in fashion in the downtown area at different publicity firms and public relations agencies. Didn't like it. It was very catty. And then I was working at the bank for a bit, just in customer service. And then after 2 years of that, I realized, I'm not getting anywhere in the bank. Let me kind of go back to school and figure it out. So I went to Humber for a marketing management postgraduate certificate. And that was just like an 8-month program. Finished that, and then that's when I got the internship at Virgin. So I was like, okay, let me meet the people, and everybody there was fun and young. Like, Virgin was the place to be.
It was a vibe.
It was a vibe. Like, I remember seeing, the red walls and like the quotes and Richard Branson pictures. I thought I was in the fucking big league. And then from there, from the internship, I got full-time communication specialist, and then from there, manager. So that was my trajectory in corporate. There was a lot of blessings in that. I met a lot of amazing people, a lot of great friends I get to travel with, see the world with.
Lifelong friends.
Lifelong friends, honestly. And everybody just vibed, so it was good. Just the role itself wasn't for me.
What was crazy about Virgin, sorry to interrupt,
no, don't.
is just how different all the personalities in the office were. None of us are the same or have the same walks of life.
No.
But everybody just meshed, and somehow it just worked so well.
Everybody was just a good time. Like, everybody was authentically themselves and authentically great people. There was 1 or 2 people that were kind of weirdos, but
always,
that's like that's fine. Exactly. But overall, everybody was great. So that was like the career aspect. And then this past year, I was really just not feeling fulfilled. Well, I had been feeling fulfilled for some time. But this past year really allowed me to look at what was making me unhappy and assess that. And at the root of it was the job, like the lack of work-life balance and such.
Right.
And I was like, well, what do I want to be doing? And I remember last year taking those online quizzes, kind of like I used to do in high school, like, what do you want to be when you grow up kind of tests, right? And I was like, well, let me take one of these tests and just see what happens. And it was not telling me anything. And then I Googled, how do you know what you want to do in life? And still didn't get the answer. Google was not. Google, you guys need to do better. You guys didn't give me the answers.
Maybe ChatGPT will help.
Maybe ChatGPT now will help, right? Punch in some keywords. But I was like, that was March last year, 2022. And I sat with that for some time, meditated a bit on it, just kind of figured out, what is my true calling? And it's funny. I didn't personally come up with it myself. But my friends, they know what I'm passionate about. They know me. They know what I'm good at. And I was always doing drinks for family events, friends events, whether it's batched sangrias or signature cocktails. I was doing something in that creative atmosphere around drinks. And so one of my friends was having a birthday party, and she's like, "Can you do drinks for me?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, no problem." She's like, "You need to be doing this as a side hustle." And I was like, this is it's a hobby. People don't make money in drinks. And they do, but it's crazy because I always was into making drinks. And even when I was in university, but it was my parents are you don't, what does bartenders do with their lives? They don't do anything. Go get a corporate job, make 6 figures, let go of this dream. So for me, it was never anything that you took seriously, especially having immigrant parents that don't understand creative careers. And so with that, a lot of people were seeing the drinks that I was doing for my friends. And then one of my other friends in July, she was like, "What are you doing? You're still not doing this full time?" And I was like, "No." She made me business cards. Wow. Literally 100 of them. And she's like, "This is your business now." And we called it Drinks by Nika. It was done. And then that just literally how everything started. So that's been the snowball effect of the
That's amazing.
career.
Well, kudos to your friend, because I was actually going to ask you, how did you discover mixology as a passion? Because everybody has the desire to do something that they're more purposefully aligned to, but they have a hard time discovering what that passion is. And to your point, you tried doing a quiz, but it's great that you have friends and your support system who know you so well. So I think that's a great way to actually figure out what you're good at and what you can actually enjoy. Okay, so I'm curious to know, because it takes a lot of guts to actually quit a full-time safety net corporate type of a job and pursue entrepreneurship. And it's very fresh for you. It's been 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel real.
I know, right? So how has that transition been, and what really pushed you to make that happen?
I think at the root of it, I was unhappy. And I said, I never want to be a person spending my life unhappy. Not for a paycheck, not for a partner, not for kids, not for anything. Like, my happiness has to come first. And I've made sacrifices in my happiness for the greater cause. So for example, like a couple years ago when I was feeling like it was time to quit, I was like, I have my mortgage coming up, like I'm about to move in, like you didn't work this hard to get your own home, just to quit and fuck it up, right? So stuck it out in the interim of that to like make the payments for the home. Like, you make a lot of sacrifices. So for me at that point, it was like, well, if I don't quit now and pursue what I'm interested in, when will I ever quit? And then do I want to look back 10 years from now being like, damn, that was my sweet spot, that's when I should have quit, and I would have been happy, and now I'm still unhappy here complaining about the same shit to everybody. And so I think that was like the ultimate determining factor, as well as the fact that like I had momentum. I had just done these amazing events with the business, I had savings, it just made sense. I was like, okay, if it's not going to be now, it'll be never. And like I gave myself a deadline like at Black Friday, like so November. I was like, okay, February is the time. I'm going to start the year off, figure it out, like have a loose plan. And like, this is the date, like I put it in my calendar. This is like D-Day, because that's what I titled it. I'm like, this is D-Day. And this is like going to be it for me. It was a hard decision, obviously, because like you said, it's a safety net. And that's 9 years of a safety net. So I was like, am I making the right move? And then talking to my parents, it's like, you don't leave a job for not having another job. And it's like, well, I don't necessarily know what I'm going to be doing. I know that I have this business and I want to invest more of my energy and time into it. And I think if I do this properly, I can really be successful in it. At the same time, I know that I'm burnt out. So let me take some time. And in that time, everything will figure itself out. So that was really the thought process. I mean, 3 weeks now into it, I'm still figuring it out.
Still digesting.
But still digesting. It's like so many emotions, right? But I think overall, it was the right decision for me, and I'm happy with the decision. And I always trust myself to land on my feet. Yeah, and I think you're super talented, and you took a bet on yourself, and there's no better bet than yourself. You could always have a corporate job. I think you've proven to yourself and to employers that you're qualified to do that. So that can always be a backup if it ever comes to that. But for now, this is the time. For now, I'm betting on myself. And I mean, my parents overall, they were at first just like, what are you doing? And my dad's like, don't come to me for money. It's like, I got this. I feel like they sense my entrepreneurial spirit, and they know that like they raised me properly. Like, I'm not just going to be out here blowing money. Yeah, you're responsible. So, you have your shit together. Exactly. And like that meant a lot for me. Like my mom, it was like 2 weeks ago. She was like, you know what? I didn't think you were really going to do it, but you did it, and I'm proud of you. And that meant a lot. Yeah, of course. I think all of us are to some degree looking for that validation and that assurance from our parents who we do look up to. And so it's nice to have that support. Exactly. Yeah. Awesome. So what are some, I guess, business goals that you have for the end of this year? Have you given that some thought? Business goals, yeah. Like keep a roof over my head, keep the business afloat. I honestly think just surviving alone is just surviving. That was my goal as being a mom in my first year. Just surviving. Keeping her alive. Keeping her and yourself alive. Exactly. And I kind of see entrepreneurship similar to that, because your business is your baby, and just staying afloat in your first year is key. It's so key. So staying afloat is definitely one of them. But it's like launching my e-course, getting corporate packages up and running, which is something I've recently launched. I want to just have like a good funnel of corporate clients, because I can make the bulk of my money doing that, as opposed to like being at an event for 8 hours, making less. And there's no shade. Like everything has its purpose, and I love everything. Every single option and package I offer, I love. But it's just seeing where I can spend the least amount of time and get the most return. As a business person, you have to kind of think in those terms. Yeah. So that's my goal for the year. Is just like really growing it, getting the name out there. My overall goal is being the go-to international mixologist and providing memorable drink experiences. And you have some international clients already, and a lot of that impressively has happened organically for you before you even had someone working on your social media or working on that top of funnel. So I think that just gives you assurance that you're on the right path. No, 100%. Yeah. Awesome. Well, do you have any advice for someone looking to get started in mixology? They've identified that this is their passion. Potentially they also have parents who maybe just don't get it. So any advice for someone getting started? Follow their heart, for sure. Definitely continue to learn. Like I feel in this kind of industry, you have to always be willing to learn, because trends and everything change so often. There's so many different things going on in the industry. So you want to make sure that you're staying on top of that. Yeah. So practice. Like for me, I have my bar. at home. I'll be bored sometimes. I don't like drinking all the time. I know it sounds weird because I'm a mixologist, but you kind of get burnt out from drinking even. So for me, it's like, okay, what do I have? Let me play around with the ingredients I have, especially if you're on a budget. Like, don't go blowing your money on like booze and all these things all the time. Use what you have, play around, learn different flavor profiles, learn what works well together, put your own twist on things. If you don't have endless funds to play around with things, do twists on the classics and then make it your own. Like, just really be creative as possible. So
nice. Yeah, and I love that you said add your own twist to it, because I see that so much in what you're doing. One example of that is the monthly Zodiac drinks that you do, and that's such an original, authentic idea. I haven't seen that anywhere else. So yeah, I think just finding out those creative elements and making it your own, and
that's it.
Sharing it with the world is what makes you successful.
And be open to feedback, because you have your own palate, but you want to get other people's palates. Everybody has different tastes. You want to know how it's balancing. So don't be shy to like invite people in. Like, if you want to have your friends over one day trying your drinks, have them over, try your drinks.
That's so true. Yeah, I feel like food and beverage is a very subjective industry. So catering to different tastes is a mastery, and it's a constant learning process, right? And
just understand your why. So when you're starting out, what you're doing with anything, mixology, any type of thing that you're in, any career path, just know your why.
What do you think your why is, if you were to sum it up in a sentence?
I think my why is to storytell through drinks and connect people. I feel like food and beverage, they have a way of connecting people and unifying people across cultures, and that's a beautiful thing. And so that's something that I aim to do with my drinks. So even when I'm working with brands, the other day I worked with Ciroc, it was like, how do I tell this brand story through these drinks?
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. We kind of talked about timing earlier, that this was the right time for you to make this transition and make this move. And we also talked about how it's important to not lose yourself. Do you feel like for you personally, at this stage of life, at this age where you've kind of accumulated a lot of wisdom, you are able to be more true to yourself and you have a stronger why?
I think absolutely I do. And I think it also comes with spirituality and just, meditating. Like, we meditate a lot and stuff in our lives. It's giving myself that space to really tap into who I am and without really focusing on outside noise.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of meditation and even manifestation, I know that that's something that you are a big believer in, and I am as well. And you honestly are a source of inspiration, because you actually share stuff on your Instagram, different quotes or affirmations, and I look to that for my source of inspiration as well. So I'm curious, Tenika, what kind of a role has manifestation played?
Oh my God, it's been like one of the biggest roles. It even surprises me sometimes, because I do my affirmations. I usually do a yearly like vision board thing to work out what I see for the year, for the next 5 years. And it's mind-blowing how many of those things have come to fruition. And I'm like, how? But I keep putting it into the universe that these are the things I want. Like, this
even if they seem completely unrealistic, just put it out there.
Put it out there. And like, I'm not to like be gassed up or anything, but I feel like I am like a manifestation queen.
Yeah.
Because it's always surprising to me, like, this really happened. Like 2 years ago, I met with a headhunter, and I was like, she's asking me, what do you want to do with your job? Like, what kind of job should I be looking for you? And I was like, man, I want to get paid to travel the world and like eat. And then 2022, I was able to travel the world and drink and eat and stuff and get paid for it. Yeah. And so I was like, I can't even believe, like, I reached out to her after the fact and I was like, this actually happened for me. Yeah. She's like, that's crazy. I think you need to tell the universe what you want, actively work towards those things and believe in it, and it will come true. Yeah. Like, one way or another, it has a way of aligning. So that's been like a very powerful tool in my life. And obviously I believe in God. So like that also helps, I think, a lot for me, just to stay, grounded
and grateful.
And grateful. And I think out of gratitude comes a lot of beautiful things. The universe rewards gratitude. So that's how I see things. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some ways that you actively practice manifestation? I know you mentioned vision boards. What are some other things?
Affirmations, journaling, like writing. This year, my cousin and I we did scripting.
Scripting, okay.
So pretty much you write like in a journal or a book, something that you're going to, utilize a lot throughout the year. You write what this year looks like for you. So it's creating like your own script. And it's like, okay, like January, this is what I'm going to be doing. And it's not like saying it as I'm going to, it's like I am doing it.
Yeah.
So you're framing it as that. So every step of the way, you're kind of writing your life story for this year.
Right.
And so that was a big thing. And a lot of those things have happened. So
I love that. Okay. Yeah. And I do something similar. I didn't know it was called scripting, but before the start of every year, I'll write a letter to myself that's kind of in past tense. Yeah. So for example, heading into 2023, I wrote a letter as if I was writing that on December 31st, 2023. Yeah. And it'll be like, oh, this year was fantastic. I accomplished this. I had this. And I was happy about this. My family's health was like this. And I've been doing that for the last few years. And then at the end of the year, when you read back on it, it's crazy how much of that stuff has come to fruition.
Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't do that this year or last year, but I did that for 2020. And it was crazy how many things actually came to fruition. And I think that's just a testament to you, like, speaking things into existence, right? Like, you want to call into existence the things you want in your life. You don't want to claim the things you don't. So you writing that is like telling the universe, like, hey, this is what I want. This is what I see for myself. And subconsciously, however, in the background,
magic happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing. I know some people think it's super crazy, but I'm like, no, I believe in these things and they work. So I'm going to keep on. Yeah,
and it's not for everyone. Everybody has their method of, you know, achieving their goals and their dream life. But I think it's a tool that has truly worked a lot for a lot of people in my life. And I can see that for you as well.
Same.
Cool. Okay, so what does a day in the life of Tenika look like?
Right now it's all over the place.
I know. I can imagine every day is probably different, right?
Every day is different. I'm working on like a schedule. I want to set like office hours so that I'm actually productive during certain parts of the days.
Right.
Answering emails, invoicing, doing quotes and stuff like that. And then like actually like chasing clients. So that I'm working on still. Right now it's up and down.
Yeah, I feel like we were talking about it earlier, a lot of it is probably business admin type of stuff, is setting up, registering your business,
exactly,
getting your ducks in a row, you know, invoicing, and then it sounds like some part of it is obviously the actual events or actual business that you're doing, and then the other
writing
part
out recipes, playing around, experimenting. Like my kitchen is such like a science lab.
I love that.
You'll see like exactly little syrups, little bitters, this and that, like infusions, and I'm like, can I get my kitchen back? Like I haven't actually done groceries in like the past month for myself. It's all just been like business related things.
Right.
And I was like, I need to figure out like a division in my home between home and like business.
I know.
But I'm not there yet. But it's fine.
It's hard. I mean, right now I feel like your home is your office, right?
Exactly.
So you're doing everything from there, and eventually manifesting this, you'll grow into having your own kitchen and office outside of your home.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to know, Tenika, I know outside of being an entrepreneur, a fresh entrepreneur who just recently quit her job, you probably don't have a lot of time other than just focusing on your business, but what are some of the things that you're making a conscious effort to do outside of your business?
Well, balance is important to me. It always is. So like right now I've been a little off balance, but trying to find my way back. So working out, like this week I've only worked out twice, but I want to get back into like my 3. Yeah, that's a start. You know, progress is progress.
Yeah.
I'll give myself grace. But like 3 to 4 times a week I want to get into that habit. So when I work on my schedule and building that out, I'll be factoring that into it.
Nice.
Still meditate, still read. That's still like, you know, my before bed reading. And I want to get back into cooking more because that was something that really excited me and ignited me. I just haven't had the time. Yeah, you've cooked us some great feast at your house, so I'm looking forward to you getting back into cooking again for my own selfish reasons. I got you. You and I actually went through a bit of a fitness era where we went to the gym together, and I remember we would DM each other different exercises on Instagram. And then we would write up our own workouts, and we did.
It was
ChatGPT will do that for us now.
That's true, but it's not as personalized. I really enjoyed that time with you because it's so nice to have someone else, like a partner at the gym, who motivates you, and I feel like you and I were kind of on a similar fitness level where I didn't feel like I was holding you back or you were holding me back.
We pushed each other.
We pushed each other, and that was really fun. And I know for me personally, my fitness and health journey has evolved a lot since then, having a baby and everything. But I'm curious to know, how has your health and fitness journey evolved since that time?
So I miss you. I miss working out with you. I feel like it was like a good, you know, partnership, us getting into the gym before work, on the weekends, because we lived around, you know, like in the proximity of each other. So my fitness has not really, I would say, evolved. I canceled my Good Life membership. I'm just using my condo gym to save on costs, but it's up and down. Like the summer I find that I'm more active. The winter is hard. Like I never want to get out. I never want to work out. This winter I was better about it because I was just like, I don't want to get to that point where I'm again like 100 and whatever pounds. Like I gained some weight during COVID. I was like, oh my God, what happened?
I think we all did.
But like literally I blinked my eye and I was like, what the man? Yeah, so I'm trying to stay on top of it, but I'm hoping to get back into a better routine with it.
Okay, so outside of physical health, mental health, what are some of the things you're doing on that?
So still with therapy, which is like, I've been going to therapy since 2018, and that's been really instrumental in my life. Journaling, meditating, doing like breathing exercises just to like make sure I'm breathing. Especially when I was like working at my desk for the corporate job, you get into like a habit sometimes where you're just so in the zone and you're not like breathing, you're not conscious of your breath. So I'd be like holding my breath a lot, and you can feel it throughout your body, that tension. So I was like, okay, making sure I breathe, like doing my deep breaths, so stuff like that. That's to stay on top of things.
That's great. Okay, well, I do have some rapid fire questions for you, so let's get into it. As a mixologist, what is your personal go-to drink?
You know, it's so crazy. Every event I do, people ask me this.
Other than tequila shots.
I know, but still tequila based. It's a margarita.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I love a spicy marg. Yeah.
Awesome. What is your favorite bar in Toronto?
Ooh, this is so hard. I can't say that I have a favorite. There's like a lot that I like. I love Mother. I like Bar Chef, Bar Prequel. Bar Prequel's new, but still like such a dope vibe, prohibition-esque kind of vibe. What else? Civil Liberties. Which is cool because they don't have a menu. They just like go off. Yeah, they go off of what you like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of like cool bars. Yeah. And like right now, I feel like I'm in my hotel lobby bar kind of era, where like I like to go to like, you know, the Four Seasons and stuff, and just like sit down, chill out, like have a drink, feel very posh.
Okay, top 3 qualities you look for in a guy, your non-negotiables.
So like I was saying, dating is just a mess.
Yeah.
But top 3 non-negotiables I'd say is somebody that's like loving and caring, ambitious, somebody that, you know, is family oriented. Those things are very important to me, especially considering that I am very family oriented. So yeah. Awesome.
Next place that you want to travel to?
This is a tough one. Like my top bucket list is Maldives. Like I want to go so bad. Don't think it's gonna be the next place I travel to. So the next place I travel to, I want to go to Dubai.
Dubai would be nice.
Yeah.
Actually, Abid and I talked about doing Dubai end of this year, so maybe we can coordinate and do
Let me know.
New Year's Eve there.
That'd be lit.
Yeah. Okay, so you said you love to cook. What is your personal favorite dish?
To cook?
Or to eat?
To eat. This is a tough one. Because like I love our traditional, like Jamaican traditional ackee and saltfish with dumplings. Like that always hits me every time. But I love a good steak and lobster.
Nice.
It's also one of the things I like to make. I'm pretty good at it.
Which is what you made for us. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, last question. How do you decompress?
I decompress by meditating a lot, taking a step back, all screens, like just disconnecting. I find that disconnecting helps me just fall back into myself and be grounded. So no screens, no connection, just relaxing, reading, resting, finally taking naps.
Well, I'm sure you don't have a lot of time for that right now, but hopefully you find that time soon.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I think that wraps it up.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. This was so much fun.
It was.